the watch list video for Thursday, June 16th. Just glance at the SPY here. Small gap up today and ran and then ended up closing in its lows. It was one of the most just boring post FOMC days I've ever had. You can tell when FOMC announcement came out, right? See that volume spike there. So it looks like we're going to rip. Looks like we're going to tank. And then for a long time, like an hour and a half maybe, it just did nothing. And then there at the end of the day, finally gave up some. So, but really wasn't much reaction till the very end of the day. So, we'll see. Play it by ear, but the market's still holding up fairly well, all things considered. So here's my list for tomorrow. Remember, when you watch this video, I'm a day trader. I'm looking for setups that can make me some money tomorrow, right? So all these stocks I'm getting ready to put out are going to be on charts. I have 6 monitors, and if I can find a setup that I like, hopefully we can make some money pretty quick, get in and out, and and keep watching the rest of them, plus the gap play. So AKAO, super interesting to me, especially when I just showed you the SPY, how weak it was at the end of the day. Look how strong this was, and it's very close to yesterday's high. And yesterday gapped, popped, and then closed at its lows, and then right back up to that 2-day high. Could have some shorts trapped here. I really like this one over this 2-day high. So AKAO, keep that one on your radar. JAGX, finding support down here. And, it gapped up and actually was almost $4 the other day. I like it over 2. It might get some upside volume over that 3-day high. So we'll keep our eyes on that one. MTCH. Big day yesterday, then kind of a quiet day today. Sometimes you can get another day, the very next day it can break out. So it's up near these all-time highs. It's a relatively new issue, but I want to watch MTCH for a possible 3rd-day move. Smith & Wesson, I kind of like this one, SWHC. It came down to the 200-day, and then it gapped up, and then it came back right down to the 200-day again. So you got 3 red days into some price support and the 200-day, and they have earnings tomorrow, I believe. Always double check anything you hear me say, but I believe earnings tomorrow after the close. They have surprised a high percentage of the time, had upside surprises on their last several earnings releases. I kind of expect the same here, but it doesn't matter. I won't be holding into earnings, but I think we might catch a pop tomorrow, being the last day for sellers to get out before the earnings announcement after hours. So I like this one a lot for a potential bounce. GBIM had the big spike, 2 lower days. It hasn't completely round tripped, so this one still has a chance, in my opinion, to turn back higher. Going to watch that one. EBIO, just after the gap up, another red day. Kind of a narrow range now. Still looking for a turn back up on that one. No trades in it today. LBIX had this big pop. You want to say it's almost round trip, but if you think about it, it popped after the gap up from here. So if you picture from here to here, it's just a partial retracement. You might get a 3rd-day move on that one too. So I want to watch that one for a potential long. JD, now this one, there's really, let me get this line off of here. There's really nothing that reeks of, hey, this is going to bounce tomorrow. But when you go to the weekly, you can basically see that we're the all-time lows after it came public. The first week it came public, it put in a low of 1994. Today, it put in a low of 1991. So it's kind of retesting all-time lows. It's not a pretty chart by any stretch, but just knowing that down there below $20, is the all-time low area. I think this might catch a bid tomorrow, all right? And it's had some pretty good selling. I think that's because of that longer-term chart. I want to watch that for a bounce tomorrow. CLRB gapped up today. I like this daily chart a lot. You had this spike here, and it's really been flagging. Gapped up today on news, but never caught a bid really, and sold off. But a lot of times, this chart, there's not a lot in the way if we can get above today's high over 458. Now it's at 382, so it's got a long way to go, but it might already start to head back higher tomorrow. I think that's a good one to watch. Whole Foods, WFM. Getting pretty fast to the downside here. You've got, 5-6 red days in a row, and the volume's increasing, and the shape to the downside is increasing. Can't see it on this chart, but it's basically just below the 50-day. I don't have a 50-day on this chart. I think this was overdue for a snapback bounce, so that's the reason that one's on watch. BSPM. This one's extended. It's pretty far away from the moving averages, so I don't love it, but it's had some pretty interesting big move here. I'm showing you 15-minute candles. Decent move here, nice secondary move, nice pop here. Really big move, decent move, and then a pop. So it's below, or it's kind of far away from the moving averages, and you got some topping tails. So this is more, I feel like I want to watch it, let's see, this is Wednesday, so I want to watch it, I kind of think it needs to come in Thursday and Friday, but on an intraday basis, it might just give us another setup and a long play. Even though I don't like it on the daily here, it's a little bit extended and feels a little bit toppy. It doesn't cost me anything to have it on a chart, but certainly put this one on your radar next week, especially if it comes in the next couple days. I like this a lot for another potential long next week. TA got a pop this morning or today. I don't know if it was in the morning, and then halted. It moved too far too fast according to the rules, and closed fairly strong above this 8 resistance back here. So I want to watch that for maybe a red to green, something like that tomorrow. And then lastly, MGT. I'll tell you what, Wayne in chat, one of our moderators, gave us this one at 268 this morning. You can see the low of the day was 257. 268, and we had a really, really big move in that one. Just ran all day. 21% from Wayne's call on about a dime risk. And it goes back on watch because it had this parabolic move back here, came down, nice support, right? And now a breakout. This might have a follow-through day, so I want to watch it again tomorrow. And that's it. That's what we're going to watch going into the open tomorrow. And we'll also add some gappers from pre-market that we see. Hopefully we can get a nice, I haven't had a really good gap play in a while where it's set up perfectly and then gave me a rip. So hopefully we'll catch one of those. I'm overdue for those. And I'm going to leave it at that. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.